Hey, welcome back to the studio. I got an interesting video for you today. One of the things I really like to do while I'm just mindlessly scrolling through YouTube is actually pick up something that might be useful to future me.
That's a problem for future Homer. Man, I don't envy that guy.
Anyways, this is the clip that we got.
If you're harmless, you're not virtuous. You're just harmless. You're like a rabbit. A rabbit isn't virtuous. It just can't do anything except get eaten. It's not virtuous. If you're a monster and you don't act monstrously, then you're virtuous. In the martial arts sort of way, which is they're dangerous, but they don't have to use it because their presence radiates implicit potential for havoc, and that's really necessary. It's one of the things that gives people self-respect.
I really like what Jordan Petersons says in there about people seeing your potential for havoc and respecting it. And having that mutual respect gives you these really solid interactions with other people, especially on a man-to-man basis. You kind of realize that there's a potential for violence if one or the other person or both of you decide to cross that imaginary line.
It's almost this sixth sense thing that when somebody who's really taking an aggressive stance towards somebody who's still chilling, it generally intimidates the other person that's going after them, you know? And it's very successful when somebody knows they can handle you even when you're up in their face like that.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Get in your car, dude.
Get in your car!
I'm in my car. That's fair.
I think there's definitely something to be said for being able to maintain your composure, especially when you're taking in that massive, obnoxious energy from other people, and you're able to like solidify your stance and just let it bounce right off of you.
Can you get in your car? No. Will you call the cop?
Yeah.
And here's just a really good example of what you can do when you have that ability and that stoicism and that presence.
Oh, that's too bad, because you're going to do it. You want to test me? I don't back down.
Oh!
Bitch? Please.
Oh my god!
Fucking stop.
And this is the difference between no awareness and having awareness plus having a knowledge of self-defense. We're going to take a look at what happens here. We don't have very much context. We know that they have a personal interaction. Something's gone wrong here. This guy puts his hand on his throat. This is a very aggressive move. This is something you can't escape from. You can't go back from this point.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
But our friend here is able to disengage the grip. He grabs the hand here and he grabs the elbow here. He's going to apply pressure, get that grip off of his neck.
Bitch.
Pop right there. Now he's going to keep control of this arm while at the same time you saw his right arm swings under, grabs control of his neck and arm over here. He is going to get ready to place his hip in the guard of his opponent, and then boom, uses his weight to just hip throw this guy onto the ground.
Got beat? Good. You learned.
And what I really like is this end part right here. He gets up and he says, stop, this is enough. I'll get you whatever to resolve this situation. Now, this didn't do it too much damage. It kind of just knocked the breath out of him and defused the situation immediately. And that is the difference between not having awareness and having that awareness and ability to defend yourself.
Men should be dangerous. By dangerous, that implies I should be ready to threaten someone, to hurt somebody.
No, you should be capable of it. But that doesn't mean you should use it. There's nothing to you otherwise. Like if you're not a formidable force, there's no morality in your self-control. If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. Both of those come together. And the combination of that capacity for danger and the capacity for control is what brings about the virtue. Otherwise, you confuse weakness with moral virtue. I'm harmless, therefore I'm good. It's like, no, that isn't how it works. That isn't how it works at all. If you're harmless, you're just weak. And if you're weak, you're not going to be good. You can't be, because it takes strength to be good. It's very difficult to be good.
And if you're weak, you won't be able to defend others. I think that's also really important.
Yep.
And that's all I got. See ya.